Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Friday. And I hope that I am greeting you at the end of a great week. Certainly one that is better than last week, inshallah. But yeah, I'm a little discombobulated at the moment. I just sat down. I thought it would be a good idea to try and feed all my fish I don't know, like the ADHD thing where you have to work under like deep pressure. I procrastinated until the very last second. I think I had 5 minutes to go and feed all the tanks, which is stupid. But I was like, I can do it. I'm gonna time myself. That was dumb. So, pardon that. But all the tanks did get fed, but it came at the expense of me being game time ready, So, whoops. But I hope you guys will forgive me. Also, on a note, I need forgiveness for Jodi-P not being here again. But she had unexpected plans come up. So, I don't know. She'll be back. She said she'll be back, whenever that might be. I mean, the universe only knows. So, Team Pretzel Force, I just saw that. But anyhow, a big congratulations goes to the first commenter of the stream for March, which is Cheryl Smith, or CR Fish. I think your last name is Smith. It at least sounds right in my head, but if it's not Smith, I'm really sorry. Cheryl, you won. Congratulations. You are the #1 fan of the day. I know you had said that you thought I was going to cancel, and no, I've just been really busy. And so between family stuff going on and everything, that me setting up the stream kept getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. And by the time 4:15 came around, I was like, okay, I got to do it now. Otherwise, everybody's going to miss it. So did that. But congratulations. You will be #1 of 4 people for the month of March. I think it's 4. I think there's only 4 Fridays in March. So that should work. I'm actually just now noticing how loud my office is right now. So I should have topped off the tanks instead of trying to feed the fish with my super speedy skills, but whoops. Oh well. I hope it's not too bothersome. I don't even know if you guys can hear it, but it is bugging me at the moment because I can definitely hear it. Anyhow, let's see. So Cheryl was first. Number one, and then Fuzzy. What's up, Fuzzy? I know Fuzzy normally comes in just a few minutes later into the stream, so I'm glad to see that you were angling to be #1, or at least, well, I guess you commented at 4:15. So, but yeah, that was right when I made the stream. So, and Nancy B, yep, dang it, you're third. Work getting in the way of the YouTube shenanigans today. Sorry about that. Sometimes work sucks. And by sometimes, I mean most of the time. But I will be very glad to see you whenever you get the chance to come back into the stream, if you do. And Dee Dee's got her popcorn ready. Love that. Speaking of popcorn, I'm not a huge fan. I could take it or leave it. I'm kind of a toss-up, a 50-50 on popcorn. But my sister could eat it all day, every day, I think. As long as it was buttered and salted and everything. But it's her birthday today. So shout out Becca. Hello, if you're watching or not. She probably is not watching, but she does know that I stream. So that's a win, I think. And then we've got Lisa the Wolf. What's up, girl? And then Beto with the Team Pretzel Force. I don't know what that's about, but like, I like a soft pretzel. I like some Annie Ann's. I like that. Zen. She's still lurking for a few, but she'll be in. And the GIPG is also here. Hello, hello, Sketty Nona. I knew it was Smith. Yes. All right. That's like a one single point in the Emily winning the names category because Jodi's not here. So I'll take what I can get. But that's awesome. I'm glad I'm finally starting to like cement some names in my brain. But yeah. And like I said, Sketty's here. Saying hey to everybody. Jonathan G, what's up? What's up? Oh, okay. So Scotty's got parameters along with his participation. He says, okay, I'm here, but I'm going to pause the stream so I can get a recreational beverage and some popcorn. Then I'll be back and we'll catch up on double time. Okay, BRB. I don't even remember how long microwave popcorn takes to make, but like it's not that long. It's just all like, you know, what's up and hellos the first few minutes anyway. So you're not missing much. The really good content comes up, you know, like 10, 15 minutes into the stream. That's what everybody's here for, I assume. I think. But anyway. But again with the popcorn. All right. People are into popcorn today. That's nice. And Cheryl is driving home as usual. Hopefully your truck has survived another week and you may or hopefully getting your next truck soon. We'll see. I have no idea, but I can be hopeful. Only because I know that your current truck is on its last leg. So good luck with that. I'll send all the good vibes your way. Let's see. I can't buy popcorn, Beto says, because I have no off button and I'll eat the entire bag. Hey, it all depends on what the size of the bag is. You know? Like you could just as easily have like a little tiny bowl of popcorn in a bag. I think they make small bags. Or you could just go like bring your own container to the movie theater and your container could be a trash bag. So it's all how you look at it, you know? But I get it. I purposefully don't keep a lot of like snackable items in the house just because I know I'll eat them. So it's easier to not have them and just pine after them when I'm craving something than to have it readily available. I feel like that's just dangerous for me. So I get it. I get not having it in the house. But let's see. We're hoping that Cheryl's driving safe, which I hope that she is, so that she's just listening instead of, you know, watching the stream. That would be a conflict of interest, I think. A conflict of safety, more like, but you know, safety first. Let's see. Sketty says, I got one of those glass popcorn poppers for the microwave. I've been having olive oil and Parmesan popcorn. Oh, okay. So I know that they make like little flavorings and stuff for popcorn, but I've got to admit I've not been brave enough to try them. Mostly because I'm like once I know I like something the way that I like it, I tend not to change it. You know, like if I don't know. I say that and like sometimes I'll add a little extra just to try it or a little something else, something different, but I think that will go with all the flavors and stuff. But I'm easy to please. Like I like what I like. So and Lisa also wants to know about Pretzel Force. Ooh, and black pepper. Nice. I am hold on. There we go. I am team fresh bread with some strawberry jam force. Ooh, yeah. I can like that. Little toasted action. I could be about it. But yeah. It takes how long the microwave button says it takes. I think when we were growing up, we always used to do it by the sounds of the pops. And you had to stay by the microwave because otherwise you couldn't hear it. And if we burnt it, we would never hear the end of it. So like, yeah, it brings up a whole mess of memories, burning popcorn and it just stinking up the entire house growing up. But yeah. And what's wrong with eating the whole bag? Nothing, Sketty. Absolutely nothing. Oh, and the workday is officially over for Nancy B. Thank God. Entertain me on the way home. Don't mind if I do. And Scotty's back and catching up, just for everybody's information. I know that they were on pins and needles, waiting for his, active participation in the stream again. Speaking of active participation, Scotty, I have a bunch of plants and stuff for you. I'll probably send them out on Monday with the moss and everything. So things kind of piled up and I got behind. So that's my game plan. And I hope you hear that on double time. But yeah, hold on. Let's see. I keep the popcorn kernels that I pop in the microwave thing. I figured it's healthier than whatever's in those packages. I mean, you do you, boo. Works for me. And you, what's up, homie? Good morning to you. I hope you've got your nice hot coffee and are relaxing. I have my nice cold Red Bull because it is 5:12 here where I'm at. Unlike you, which is, I think it's like 5 in the morning or something, which is crazy. But I applaud your dedication to the stream. I really appreciate it. And then Fuzzy's back. He's saying hey to everybody. And then, Beto is about to explain Pretzel Force. Is an inside thing. I always bring it up at Elfish streams. Now our love for soft pretzels created the Team Pretzel Force crew to field. Oh, okay, cool. Yep. I mean, I know David likes his food. So, and I do love a good soft pretzel. But, like, I don't know. People up in the north, like, put mustard on it. And that just seems so strange to me. Like, I don't know about that. And Sketty, with your beer cheese dip, I don't know about that either. Like, I mean, I would try it. Because, like, who doesn't like cheese? But, yeah. Interesting. I don't know. I would try it. I still have to try eggnog at some point. I was supposed to over Christmas and then got busy and never did. So burnt popcorn reminds me of work. Yeah. Yeah. What does Dee Dee say? Her old microwave required her to remove it 12 seconds early from the popcorn setting or else have to deal with the burnt taste and deal with the burnt smell. I think is you don't have to eat it, but you're kind of forced to smell it. So you're just sitting there like marinating in your mistake for, I don't know, an hour until, the smell goes away or you become nose blind, one or the other. But, yeah, I don't think there's any more of like a rookie move in like an office or a shared space when somebody burns their popcorn and everybody just knows, oh, we know what you did. You know what you did. But yeah. Oh, let's see. Oh, Prodigal Aquarist is in. What's up? What's up? And oh, Scotty, that's very kind of you. I like to get things out promptly though, just so that I have it checked off my list. But there's always next Christmas to try eggnog. Yeah, I guess I'll have to wait a whole year. I don't really know. I'm honestly not even really sure what to expect for the taste test of eggnog, only that I think it will be thick, like a milkshake. I don't even know if it's supposed to be hot or cold. Oh, it's 7 a.m. for you. Okay. Wow. That's not as bad as 5, but ooh, dedication. I applaud it. Loving it. And Scotty, you're officially caught up. I love it. And tell Tony that Scotty said he's a nice guy. He is pretty nice. He helps facilitate Dee Dee's fish room, so like either that or he doesn't bother her about it, which I think is equally as admirable. You know, like as long as your spouse doesn't completely hate it, you're winning, I think. Let's see. What is A&E? A&E makes eggnog milk. That might be a better first taste. It doesn't have the thick melted eggnog texture. So is it like, is eggnog like thick, like drinking melted ice cream? Is that like a good equivalent? I'm like throwing darts in the dark. Like I don't really know what, except I don't know what it's like except for what I've seen in on like TV. So I know it's kind of yellowish and I think thick, and that it's a holiday drink. So yeah. Um I think spot on. Spot on. Not gullible. Dee Dee. Let's see. It can be either any day of the week, hour of the day, etc. But in the end, I have a fish room. That's true. It's true. Um, I got in a little bit of trouble because, you know, I had the fish room and I was like, great, this is awesome. And then I just kind of started spreading out throughout the house. And so I had to be gently reminded a few times that, like, my tanks need to be contained, you know, into my office and the fish room at most. And then she went ahead and agreed to having the saltwater tank in her office. So I feel like that's a double win once we actually get it in there. But yeah, totally lucked out on that one. I don't know how I managed it, but you know, yeah. Ooh, Beto's not a fan of the nog, but I pretend to like it to annoy David. Oh man, I wish he was watching this. I don't think he's in right now, but if he does happen to watch it on replay, like I know I still owe him, number one, a fancy fish journal, and number two, a live taste test of eggnog. So yeah. Um ooh. Okay, so Prodigal says it's kind of thick like a carnation instant breakfast. Yummy stuff. Hmm. Like, I've never had a carnation instant breakfast. I don't think. Pardon my dog's barking. There must be a squirrel or something. I forgot to shut the door. But also, my office gets really warm if I don't keep the doors open and the fan on. So, ooh. Ooh. Laura, LJ Shrimp just bred pepper. No way. I didn't know. Okay, so I knew that they could be bred in theory, but I'd never heard of anybody being successful at it. Because for some reason or another, they're more crazy and intense than Neocaridina shrimp, which I don't have any experience with peppermint shrimp, but a shrimp's a shrimp, right? Like it can't be that different. But congratulations to LJ Shrimp. That's awesome. And it's thicker than Kahlua. Well, Kahlua is like whole milk almost, maybe a little thicker, but not much, like cream, you know. Let's see. Ooh, okay. So Dee Dee, we've been talking, and we've been talking back and forth about her new stand that she built. Sorry, I'm looking around my mic so I can actually see what she said. Draining my extra salt tank to exchange to stand and rearrange a tank or two. Okay, right on. But you've made way more progress than I have on my salty tank. Like, I have to get the freaking thing inside from the garage still. But Costanza's in Vegas right now for what I kind of equate to the transportation industry's equivalent of Aquashella is happening right now in Vegas. So like this is, I mean, it's what she does for work, and so she's working, and it's not all for fun. But She doesn't even like Vegas. She doesn't like doing anything that you're supposed to do there. Like, she doesn't gamble. She's not into, you know, anything really that they do there that's fun. So she's mostly bored and doesn't like that everything smells like smoke. But, you know, c'est la vie sometimes. But that's awesome, Dee. Proud of you. I need to break out some of my tools as well. My tanks are required to be in this room. It's mine. It's all mine. I mean, like, I have full reign over the setup that's in the fish room, and in my office. But God, I wish if I could have a 6 foot by 2 by 2 tank, I think, which is like a 180 or a 200 in between, some kind of gallonage like that. I would love that. The big tank that I have is only 18 inches deep, so it kind of limits a little bit of what I can scape in there. But it's not horrible. I mean, I think my 40 breeder is 18 inches and I'm still not happy with it, but it's not terrible. But I do wish I had a little bit of extra room. Anyway, I digress. What's up, Magnus? I'm glad you came in. I wish I had an all mine spot. And your husband says that you do, like, maybe in his opinion, but really what you need is like to take over the garage and be like, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I want. And just, you could just start it one day and, like the whole ask for forgiveness instead of permission. But like, he's going to see you doing it and he's going to ask what you're doing, and just tell him that he doesn't want, like, don't ask questions you don't want the answers to, So just mind your business and go about your life creating your new garage fish room. Sketty. That's what you should do. Ooh. Let's see. What? Oh no. Oh my. So Dee had baby peppermints shortly after she got them, but the canister filter got them most likely. That's a bummer. But yeah, I've heard it's kind of difficult to keep the babies alive. And I don't, again, a shrimp's a shrimp, right? So just a ton of tiny baby food, I assume. But yeah. Okay, talking about the spouse's stuff migrating into your own space. I swear I could clean and clean and clean and clean, and the second she comes home, the counters are covered with shit again. And it doesn't matter what it's like, keys and water bottles, and it doesn't matter like if it has a actual place to go or not. It's just like everything is automatically dumped onto the counter because like that's the convenient place, and I'm just like, I just did that. But yeah, it's a little bit of a point of contention for me. My saltwater tank, well, Fuzzy, if you must know, I think the tank itself is doing okay. The 20 gallon, this is what I'm talking about. I haven't set up the 100 yet. So, I'm talking about my little 20 gallon tank. I am basically an Acropora coral killer. I've murdered almost every single one that I have, which really sucks. I don't like that. But some of the other corals seem like they're doing okay. And I think I've been better at keeping the parameters stable. It turns out that I was working with a improperly calibrated salinity meter, which really sucked and so I now have a better one that has like 3-point calibration instead of just 1. So that's a little bit more peace of mind. And it works great. It's wonderful. I love it. So ever since I started using that, everything seems to kind of like be balancing out a little bit, which is great. I just wish that I had not had that hiccup. It just makes everything a little bit more difficult, of course. Um, but yeah, so it's going all right. I don't have anything to complain about except for the fact that I am a SPS coral serial killer. So that sucks. And it really sucks because those are like the coolest ones. They're like the ones with the most color and they're so like interesting looking. And I thought I was ready for them. I was not. Not I'm not. It's bad. But other than that, the tank's going relatively well. So thank you for asking, Fuzzy. Um oh yeah. You can't have creatures eating your little baby shrimp. So oh, they like to eat from the side of the glass. Well, that's just like Caridina shrimp. You have to kind of like, well, a lot of breeders will tell you to build the algae up on the side of the tanks for your Caridina shrimp, by adding like certain kinds of bacterias and, you know, like food for those bacterias that help promote that specific kind of algae. And it works great. My tanks are green on the sides, and hopefully they stay that way, because it always makes me feel like I've got a little bit of peace of mind with my fancy shrimp, because, you know, they've always got something to eat. I mean, in addition to the moss that's in there, they can kind of like go up on the sides and just hang out there and eat the algae if they want. So it's kind of, like I said, peace of mind. If I forget to feed them or something. Let's see. Ooh, tomorrow is outdoor pond area day. It's already that warm. You guys just had like 12 inches of snow or something stupid like that. Or is it already like, it's already time for outdoor pond area day? Damn. Maybe I am behind. But yeah, I think I could probably work outside if I wanted to, but I've got so much going on inside that I haven't even thought about my little pond area right yet this summer. So, except for when I found the Medaka that were still alive, that was a huge surprise. And they're still kicking, so got to figure out what I'm going to do there. But, ooh, what's up, June? Glad you made it. Ooh, okay. I built a stand different than my others. I used aquarium domains build just to try something new, just in case. And you made it. You made the stand out of wood, right? And you made some, or you're going to make or have made part of the tank out of fiberglass, right? Is that what's happening? Or did you fiberglass the stand? I forget, but I know fiberglass is involved. One way or another. But my brain's a little scrambled, so you're gonna have to remind me. Ooh, June's down with the garage takeover, Sketty. You gotta do it. Oh no, Caitlin, you're in the hospital? I'm so sorry. That hospitals are never fun, and hospitals are like, ironically, an incredibly non-restful place. There's so much hustle and bustle. Everybody's up in your business. Like, you never get enough rest. And even if you do get some rest, it's not good rest. Like, I don't think I've ever had a real REM cycle in a hospital unless I was like knocked the F out, you know, with drugs. And I don't even know if that counts, you know, because like that's supposed to be what happens. So I'm sorry to hear that, Caitlin. I hope you get out of there soon. And it's only very temporary. I won't pry, but I do hope you get out of there soon. And Zen is done. I kept your stream running, but the volume was down. What did I miss? I'm sure Nancy was talking mad smack about me. Actually, no. She just wants to be entertained by the funtiest funt of them all. And I'm here to provide for the people, you know? So You haven't missed much except us trying to convince Sketty to overtake her garage. So, uh, let's see. Oh, Beto says or asks, Bougie, what would you put in a 40 breeder display tank if it was going in your bedroom and it was the only tank? Are you talking fish? Are you talking plants? Are you talking hardscape? Like what are the parameters of your question, sir? But honestly, I'd probably try and make it look something like my background. So I would probably put some manzanita in it. Um, I would. I'm more partial to big schools of small fish. I like the movement and the schooling that happens. So I would pick something that you can easily see from across the room. Maybe something bright like a shit ton of chili rasboras would be really cool. I think. Or if you wanted something different, you could put like you could do like a Shelly tank, like a multifasciatus tank, because it would be constantly changing. There'd be a lot of movement. You'd have lots of babies that you could take to your LFS for some serious dollars. Like at my local fish store, they sell them for $25 a piece, and I'm like, what is this? This doesn't make any sense. Our water is great for it. Like how are they that expensive? Anyway, I digress. But if it were me, I kind of like the idea of a Shelly tank, but I also, in my room, I would want it to be green. So a Shelly tank would probably be out because it's not conducive to plants. They move the substrate around way too much. Even an established plant will become uprooted, so that kind of sucks. But chili rasboras might be too small. I know now that I think of it. I would not do something shy. Like I find CPDs to be really shy. And let's see, what else could you do? I'm not a fan of Danios. They're little crackheads, and it's too much movement for me. Like I want something that's like oh, you know what would be really good? Or like a big group of like 1 to 1.5, maybe 2-inch tetras. And I'm going to recommend these because they're freaking amazing. Once they like grow big and color up, are the red cherry mussel tetras. Holy crap. Amazing color. You can definitely see them from across the room. And they kind of stick together a lot. And they're not, once they get, acclimated to your like general setting or whatever, they stop being super shy, especially once they know that you being around the tank means food. So tiny little piranhas like that. But I would absolutely do that. I have a group of 10 right now, and all I want to do is add to it. They're stupid expensive though, so you could do something like a cheaper tetra. But I don't think I've had any other tetra that's been quite as bright and like fun to watch as the mussel tetras. So that's what I mean, going on like a 10-minute rant about what I would do with a 40 breeder in my room. But yeah, that's what I would do, and put a bunch of crypts in there probably. Let's see. My husband asked me today if he could build a mezzanine in the garage, and he even said it would be strong enough for tanks. Okay. Well, hey, I mean, if the shoe fits, you gotta wear it. So I'm gonna be inquiring about your new garage project, Sketty. You might be finished with it as soon as I get my freaking 100-gallon stand inside the house. I hope I beat you, though. God, I hope I beat you. If I could just get a little cooperation from the other half to move it, that would be nice. June says her cats are the messy ones. The people here are just in their way. That's how cats are, though. Ooh, Used Wife has her woman cave. It's like her zen jungle of botanical and her aquascapes. Yeah, that's basically what I intended my fish room to be. Was full of tanks, like planted tanks and plants. But I do think it turns out that having in that small of a space, and it's really not super well ventilated, I think having both tanks and a ton of tropical plants in that room would be like opening the door wide open for mold because the humidity would just be out of control. So I had to cut back the plants and definitely put tanks or lids on the tanks. And there's a dehumidifier in there that runs like, I want to say 24/7, continually, just to keep it at like, I don't know, 45 to 50% humidity. So you can probably kind of ascertain that adding the plants would only add problems, unfortunately, which is something that nobody really talks about. Fish tanks and plants go great together until all of a sudden you live in literally a jungle and like you can't control the humidity of that particular space. And that can become a big problem. So yeah. Tony's a horizontal space destroyer too. It never fails. Never fails. What's up, Stephen P? Glad you came in. Oh, okay. Let's see. I had right-sided weakness and numbness. All scan tests came back okay, so that will cause long-term damage. I am going to need some OT-PT rehab. Oh, that sucks. I mean, hopefully that means that you'll be outpatient, right? So you're not stuck in there for forever. But yeah. I want nothing on the counter ever because my husband sets tools and coolers and stuff. Emphasis on the stuff on the counter that scratch it up. Plus, if anything is on the counter, everything ends up there. It's so true. It's like it's kind of like a snowball that kind of goes and goes and goes and then starts an avalanche. Like it starts with like, oh, I'm just going to put my keys here. Oh, I'm just going to put my bag here. Oh, I have this shopping bag. Oh, I have this and that and that. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, the entire counter is full, not only horizontally, but vertically full of just shit. There's so much stuff. And you're like, how did we even accumulate all of this? But anyhow, I don't know if you can tell it's important to me. But yes, I feel your pain, Sketty. I do hope they get you straightened out, Caitlin. Oh man, I'm so sorry about that. Oh, well, I must confess, Dee says I have killed my share of corals and anemones, but it seems to be improving a tad. Yeah, and I feel I kind of like I can chalk a little bit of it up to the tank being so new. Yeah. I mean, it's just disheartening. Like you think it's ready and everything, and it's not like freshwater at all, where you like know that everything's cycled and like you can put whatever the hell you want in there and it's just gonna go, you know? You put a crypt in there with a little root tab and like 1 + 1 = 2. But in saltwater, it's like 1 + 1 = 11. Like it doesn't make any sense. I thought it was ready. Apparently it was not ready. So now that the parameters are stable, I can start measuring. I can actually start measuring the parameters and kind of seeing where the tank is at. And I don't think I've got enough zoas in there for it to like be uptaking any like significant amount of nutrients out of the tank, but we'll see. So testing starts probably tonight. Yeah, Scotty, I wish I was told to just start with zoas until the tank is well established. Yeah, I feel that in my soul. So sad. Let's see. One thing I had plenty of was algae on the glass, but I also had a wrasse and sailfin molly. Yeah, so I don't have any fish in that tank. And to be perfectly honest, I don't really want any saltwater fish. Like, they just don't speak to me, except for like one yellow tang. And I think my wife wants what are they? They're the blue tangs with the yellow tails, the dory fish. That's what she calls them, dory fish. But I think they're like a blue hippo tang or something like that. Uh, Again, I don't really care what they're called because I don't care about saltwater fish. I only care about my freshwater guys. But yeah. Ooh, you know what else could be cool, Beto, in your 40-gallon breeder is pencil fish, but like the bright red ones. I wouldn't get like a bunch of, kind of like brownish ones with the black stripes because I think they would be difficult to see from across the room. But if you got a bunch of red ones that really stood out, you would not regret it. Definitely recommend those guys as well. Anyhow, let's see. Insurance is the freaking worst. Sorry you have to deal with that, Caitlin. Okay. So Dee Dee says this tank won't have fiberglass at this time. Using glass till I get the ponds up and running. Okay. All right. I just knew for some reason or another, I had like fiberglass bolded and highlighted in my brain. Because that was the first time I'd ever heard anybody doing any kind of DIY work with fiberglass in relation to fish tanks and making their own. So I was fascinated. That's why I was like pegged it to like follow. But yeah, I will edit that in the cabeza. Ooh, I think aquarium domain fiberglass is some. Okay. Yeah. Oh man, that's a whole other can of worms. Like I have a sump for the 100-gallon. I've been cycling it in the bathtub. That actually replaced the black worm cultures that were in the bathtub. When they crashed, I didn't really have anything in there, and I was like, well, I might as well start the sump, kind of get that going. So that's been going, and that's been going great. But yeah. Just in case any of y'all were wondering what was happening in the guest bathroom. Oh no, Zen is slacking and didn't remind us to hit the freaking like. Zen, what are you doing? You can't possibly be busy with anything other than fully being attentive to this stream. That is anything else absurd. Just kidding. But I thumbed it. Excellent, Scotty. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate you. Ooh, okay. I've been asking for a while. I got my shibunkin in there for the winter. Ooh, nice. Once you start like edging your way in there, it's just a matter of time. So like the fact that there's already a fish in the garage, major bonus points. And I think the whole shenanigan is going to go your way. I can see you said Zen is not the only mod here. You're not wrong technically, but you do, I think out of all the possible mods that could say something, I think you like to yell the most. So that's on you. Ooh, okay. So Beto was thinking of a schooling fish too, with like something in the middle to try and get them to go around it. Okay, so like an island, kind of. That could be cool. Like a island type scape with maybe some wood kind of coming out of it with plants stuck in the middle. That could be nice. I can see it. I like it. I like where your head's at. Yeah. Okay, Beto. So we were eventually on the right page, like on the same page mentally. The Beckford pencilfish, yeah, that could work, but um I would pick something that you can definitely see instead of something that kind of blends into the substrate. Uh, like I said, from across the room. So that's just me though. So how about rummy nose rasboras? That's also a good choice. Um, yeah, they would probably like a good school of them or a good sized group of them would probably look really good, especially against like super green plants. So yeah, yeah, I could totally see that. That would work too. That's a good suggestion. You Danios are very meth heady. Yeah. Ooh, I'm a little behind, like 10 minutes. Shit. Um, you're right. You chilies are too small. Rummy nose rasboras would be a better choice, I think. Um, I had some beautiful Kochu tetra. They were kind of lavender blue and luminescent. Yeah, they have. There's also the lapis tetra, imperial lapis tetras that are really cool. I had some for a little while, but then I believe I gave them back to the fish store because I wanted something different. They didn't quite work how I wanted to in that tank. So, um, but yeah, those would work. Kochu tetras would work. They're kind of, I would say, a little bit more blue than lavender, but yeah, I guess maybe depends on which kind you get, where you source them. And then Dee Dee says that diamond tetras are also beautimous. Yes. Those are very shiny. So if you want something that will like absolutely catch your eye, diamond tetras are a great choice. They'll definitely kind of like shimmer and sparkle. Versus like the red, like a red fish or like the rasboras would like stick out from the green, but also if you didn't want to pay attention to the tank, you could ignore it, I think. But I think the diamond tetras would demand your attention with the kind of like shimmer that they have in the tank. So, um, yeah, that's my 2 cents on that. Harlequin rasboras. Yeah, those could work. They're not my favorites, but hey, it's your tank. You can do what you want. And let's see. Oh, the Mad Zen Smack Talk can now commence. Now that Nancy B is home, everyone say one annoying thing about Zen. Uh-oh. What have I started? Prodigal Aquarist has picked up a couple bookshelf tanks, a 3 foot by 1 by 1. What easy plants would you recommend? Inert gravel for substrate, hardish water. Dude, do crypts. Put crypts all up in that. That's what I would do. I'm such a huge crypt fan though. I love them. There's so many different kinds and different varieties. You can get tall ones for the back. You can get short ones for the front. Um, there are tons of kinds that don't need CO2 to do really well. They do great at cooler temperatures. They do wonderful in my discus tank, which is 83 degrees right now. They are the only plant that has survived in the discus tank for that matter. Um, yeah, they are hardy. There's nothing, I have nothing bad to say about crypts. So try that. And go from there. If you need something carpeting, maybe what is it? Helianthus bolivianum. I believe that's what it's called. It stays real short and it spreads by like you put the stem in the substrate with the leaves sticking up, and before you know it, you'll have another little sprig coming up, and then another one, and then another one. So it spreads pretty quickly, relatively speaking, and makes a nice. I don't want to say carpet, but it could be grass like if you wanted. So you've got options. Uh oh. Cheryl just made it home to find a breaker flipped and 6 tanks without power. Oh my gosh. I can't tell you how frustrating it is to flip a breaker and not be able to figure out which plug is causing the problem. Because I have so many plugs in the fish room, and this has happened way more than once. I get it. I shouldn't have this many plugs, yada, 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 but sue me. I have a lot of tanks and I need a lot of plugs. So whenever I screw up and trip a breaker, it takes a minute to figure out, unless I know exactly what I did. It takes a minute to figure out what's going on. So I wish you luck in that endeavor. That's real frustrating. I'm sorry. I'm easily distracted by small, sparkly objects. Girl, same. I feel you, Zen. Oh, and use wife's. Her woman cave was our garage. Yep. I like it. Let's see. Uh-oh. Nancy, ma'am, I'm going to send you one thing I think is annoying about you for every mean comment. Just know that. Zen, why do I feel like you just like keep a notebook at your side, and whenever Nancy does something annoying, you just write it down and you save it for later? I know that you have a little notebook going. I've tried that, Nancy, to put a fish tank on the counter where she puts her keys, easy peasy. The problem is I'm not allowed any more tanks. I already have a tank on the kitchen counter. And it's in a nice little spot. It's kind of perfect for it. It's a good fit, but I was told no more. So maybe I'll just, play Uno reverse on her and be like, no more keys. No more. It's clean. Anyway. Sketty has to have dehumidifiers as part of the deal. My husband is an engineer, architect, and knows all about the ways of damage. Yeah. I feel like people kind of gloss over that fact. That humidity, if you have a lot of tanks, it can be really like a significant problem and cause significant amounts of damage in a short, relatively amount of time. And it will cost a shit ton of money to repair. So please be careful. Know what you're getting into. But yeah. Oh, yes. Dee Dee and I are both learning about saltwater livestock, and frags die and blah. Oh well. There will always be more frags. But Sketty, yes, people keep what are they called? Nudibranches? Nudibranchs? Nudibranchs. There are pest nudibranchs and nudibranchs that will eat pests. So, like depending on which kind you're talking about, like I know Bergia nudibranchs will eat Aptasia in a saltwater tank, which is great. But the problem becomes when you actually run out of Aptasia for them to eat, because they are so good at eating all of it, that they'll eventually die off because they don't have anything to eat anymore. So difficult to do long term. But yeah, people do keep them. Yeah. My suggestion from Scotty is to don't touch the tank for a month. Just let it be, then start testing and doing water changes. Yeah. I've pretty much decided I'm like hands off. I haven't touched it in a week. And normally I do like a 10% at least water change. And I'm not doing a damn thing. I'm not changing water. I'm not even looking at that tank the wrong way. Like, I'm just letting it be, like the song. But ooh, Fishery was showing those fully red pencil fish the other night. Can't remember if it was red fish, blue fish, or Moonlight Aquatics. Probably both. I've gotten really good fish from both redfish, bluefish prior to his like hiatus. Like he shut his website down for a little while, but then he came back. And Moonlight as well. I've also gotten pencil fish, like the red pencil fish from Imperial Tropicals. They usually will have a deal on like a group of 10 or 12. So watch out for that. They don't always have them, but then when they do, it's like it's nice. Oh, got to go to the hardware store. All right, Cheryl. Good luck. Let's see. Yeah. Those are the Bergie and nudibranchs, the ones that eat Aptasia, Scotty. I think they're white too. So they're like, but they're small. They're very small. And so what people will do is and they're stupid expensive. Like really stupidly expensive. So what people will do is they'll make a tank or gather a bunch of Aptasia in a tank and let their so you buy like, I don't know, 3 to 5 at a time because they are so expensive. And you let them breed and grow. And then eventually once you have your colony of nudibranchs grown, so you have like, instead of 5, you have like 50 or 100 or however many you want before you put them in the tank. Then they take that entire colony and dump it into the tank. And if you have fish, some will get eaten, but the majority of them will take care of your Aptasia problem until it is no longer a problem, and then they run out of food. So kind of a vicious cycle there. But let's see. I want the whole shenanigan to go my way. Yes, that is what we wish for. But I agree, Lisa. I do. Ooh, I have edged a 100-gallon tub in the garage. Congratulations and good effing job, Sketty. My husband must really love me. You know what? Or he just doesn't pay attention to what's like out of sight, out of mind. If he doesn't see that tank all the time, he doesn't even know it's there. You know, just live and let live. According to him, there's nothing to see here, you know? So, you know, maybe that will also work in your favor. Uh-oh. We don't want to piss Zen off today. Be nice to Zen. The ginger will rage otherwise. We can't have that. Scotty says a 3-hour stream, it would definitely help Zen to have a better day. Well, anything for Zen, really. Anything for Zen. She's one bad bitch, if you know what I mean. So, and since Costanza is a way you can make it happen, right? I mean, you know, I have a beverage. I've got time. You know, maybe we'll make it a long one today. Who knows? If we keep chatting, it just might happen. Your dreams could come true, Scotty. Ooh. Empire Tetra with bright yellow markings. They were big and super aggressive. When I very first started out, I had a group of Empire Tetra that bred in the tank. And for the longest time, I was convinced I had like brand new baby Corydoras in the tank because they looked identical to my eyes at the time. But no, they were Empire Tetras. And that only became evident to me once they grew up a little bit. But yeah. And the Empires have a bluish stripe that's rather appealing. It is nice. It's a good one. Yeah, so Beto, I think Tetras might be the way to go. They're enough movement without being like the crackhead Danios, and they can be as showy as you want or not showy, depending on, you know, whatever your flavor is. You can go cheap, you can go expensive. You've got a lot of options there. So yeah, I dig it. June says that her toaster flips the breaker. No more toast for you. Yeah. Maybe you need a new toaster? Possibly. I don't know. Or you could just take, a blowtorch and, toast it, I guess. If you don't want to buy a toaster. Open fire and open flame in any situation is always the answer. No, she doesn't do enough to actually annoy me. I just figured if I threw her in the mix, people wouldn't try to piss me off. I get it. I get it. We have a file on Nancy. Yeah. Steven, you have files. Like, you have files on the Fish Fam. Like, and not only Fish Fam, but like Fish Fam adjacent people who have like subscribed to your channel and want free plants, So like you're basically, what I'm saying is you're like the FBI of the Fish Fam. You've got deets on everyone. I have quite the list. And then Nancy's over here like the CIA. She's like, I've got a list on everybody too, but my information is more covert and less investigative. Why pick one? We just have the best of both worlds. Oh, Asia, what's up? I'm glad you made it. Ooh, okay. I've never shipped coral, Scotty says. I'll have to research, then I got some stuff to send you. I'm stoked, and it shouldn't be difficult. In fact, I could probably make a video and show you how I've received some of them. It doesn't seem very difficult at all. It's almost exactly identical to fish, but with a little like ketchup cup attached to the frag to kind of protect the coral from like bumping on the sides of the bag. Other than that, it's nearly identical to fish. And yeah, I think you could totally do it. So we can experiment. Don't worry. Nancy has been looking at tetras lately. I haven't kept any in a long while, looking for something a little bigger. Like the diamond, bigger than diamond tetras. Those. I mean, if you're going to have a big group of them, like what Beto's talking about in his 40 breeder, I don't know if I'd go much bigger than the diamond tetras. Just because like you want them to be like cohesive. You know what I mean? But something bigger than, I don't know what you're looking for, but I'll have to take a little video of my red cherry mussel tetras and I'll send it to you. They look stunning. But they are small, so they might be too small for what you're looking for. Ooh, what type of electronic tech do you have in the fish room? What type of 3D stuff? What apps do you use in the fish room? Well, depends what you're talking about, freshwater or saltwater. On the freshwater side, I don't really have, the saltwater hobby is like really into, if you're into automation, you're into like the controllers and stuff. So like the Neptune controllers or Hydros is another example. I think there's a few other brands, but those are the major two. And I personally prefer Hydros. And so that's the system I'm going to have running on the 100-gallon to kind of automate some of the more annoying tasks like auto top off and all that stuff. Auto top off, like, by the way, is not as important for freshwater as it is for saltwater because of salinity and you need to keep the parameters stable, right? But for freshwater, you can get away with your tank lowering in volume until you're just like, okay, it's time to top it off, which is usually what I do. But let's see, electronic tech in my freshwater, in the fish room, I would have to say it's not so much technology as it is equipment, as in like linear piston air pumps. I had like, once I get the air loop set up, I'll have two linear piston air pumps in series with one another, which should be more than enough air juice for powering the sponge filters and everything in that fish room. But I'm trying to think. I use a shit ton of Casa timers. And public service announcement, the time to bulk up on Casa timers is on Prime Day. So otherwise I feel like you just get completely cheated of the cost, like versus value of the Casa timers. There's other brands that you can use, like I don't know what they're called, but I know that they're basically Wi-Fi controlled timers. I just like that everything. I had already been using Casa timers once I figured out that I could also use them for like lights and stuff in the fish room. So I already had the app. I already knew how to set everything up. It's super easy and very easy to access once you have everything kind of set up, like grouped in. Like I have like a group of all my tank lights, and then I have groups of like my fish room, and then I have a group for my office, and then I have a group for the living room tanks and stuff like that. So you can get as detailed into it as you want, and set up schedules and things like that, which is really handy. It's annoying as hell to have to reprogram everything though, which does happen on occasion. So that's one thing that I've found that's moderately annoying is like when you have a timer suddenly stop syncing with the app, you've got to reset it and then reprogram it. Sometimes it's not a huge pain in the ass, but other times it's just like, God damn it. Why do I have to do this again? So, what type of 3D stuff? I do have the fry trays from Lowell's Fish Lab. Those are fantastic. I love them. The only thing I would change about them is there's a couple like small pieces, like the piece that holds the air tube to the little tray itself. Like all of mine have broken, which really sucks. It's not the end of the world, because it does not make or break the unit as a whole. But I love those things. Those are fantastic. What else? I know I have some other 3D equipment that I use. I'll have to think on that. But let's see. And then apps. I have for the saltwater tank right now, I have the aqua illumination control app for the lights. And then, but basically everything's like hooked up to controllers. Other than that, like it's that app is kind of like its own controller. But like, I don't use apps that much in either the saltwater or the freshwater side. I feel like it's a bit too cumbersome to use efficiently when I have as many tanks as I do. Like if you had 3 tanks and you wanted to keep an app full of notes and pictures and stuff of your 3 tanks and just to keep it all in one place, absolutely. I love that. That would work great for you. Like, but once you start having, like tens of tanks, like I don't want to, it's not hundreds because that's absurd. But like once you start having in the realm of like 10, 15, 20 tanks, it takes more time to input the information into the app than it does to actually get your shit done. So you're sacrificing one thing for the sake of another that in the end doesn't really help you one way or another. So in lieu of an app, I use these little, what I like David will call fancy fish room notebooks. So I do take notes and I do, make notes of, things that I observe and things that are happening. Things like temperature and TDS of the freshwater tanks for like the plecos and things. Things where in like the discus tank where I want to keep the TDS low so that the eggs won't fungus over, or I want to induce spawning in like the leopard frog pleco tank. So I'd go from high TDS to low TDS and, baseline temp to cooler temps and cold water changes, yada, yada. So like I write that stuff down because if I don't, I'll forget it. But one of the things that I really love about those fancy fish journals, they're called Write in the Rain. And what I love about them is that the paper is waterproof. So I could write on wet paper and it would still be fine, which I have done. And I just make notes and to-do lists, and that's how I keep track of everything. And then once I go through one notebook, I just start another one. So for me, that's a lot more efficient than using apps. Even though I actually, speaking of, keeping track and things, I did, for a while. I haven't quite implemented all of it, but I was having trouble remembering when exactly I had done water changes on like my discus tank and the 40 breeder and the pea puffer tank in my office, right? So I got some NFC tags on Amazon, super cheap. And if you know anything about NFC tags, they're super easy to program. Some of them even come pre-programmed and like ready to go. And what they are, hold on, I have some right here. They are these little, so these are 1-inch ones. There's a little chip on the inside of here. And what you do is you hold your phone up to the chip, right? And you can program these little dots, which have like a little sticky side. So I stuck them on like the border of the tank, right? The little black rim. I wish I had gotten smaller ones, but these 1-inch ones work just fine. And they came in a pack of like 50. So for, I want to say like $5 to $10, super cheap. But anyway, you can program them to like automatically log when you hold your phone up to them. So my thought was, okay, every time I do a water change, I'm going to hold my phone up to this tag, and it will write down every single water change for that particular tank, right? So in theory, I could go back in my app and figure out when the last time I did a water change was, So as long as you program it correctly, it works wonderfully. But I haven't used it as much as I thought I would have. Mostly because I started paying more attention to the tanks in my office. And it was only when I realized I wasn't paying enough attention to the tanks themselves, that I wasn't keeping up mentally with the water changes, because I like to do it once a week at least. So once I figured that out, it totally changed the game and kind of made the NFC tags irrelevant. But on the other hand, they are very useful for tanks like my Bosemani Corridoras that I do like a dry season and a wet season. When I can kind of keep track of how much water did I change and when I did it and how much food I fed. And all I have to do instead of writing it down is just tap my phone to the side of the tank, and it automatically like records everything. So that's been really useful. But I think you have to be a little bit tech savvy to implement it, which it's very, 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 very easy. But you have to have the confidence to try. So I would recommend it if you have trouble remembering, when the last time you did a water change was. Like, NFC tags are the shit. They're great. So try that. I think I answered most of that question. What? I don't use too many apps. Other types of I'll have to think on the 3D stuff. But I know that I use some like 3D printed stuff. I think that's what you're asking. 3D printed stuff. As far as 3D stuff goes, I do have like Pleco caves and stuff, which is 3D technically. But 3D printed stuff is more, I think, along the lines of what you were asking about. An electronic tech other than the NFC tags, which turned out to be a great idea. It just didn't end up working how I wanted it to in my office, but in the fish room, it's fantastic. I think that's pretty much all the tech that I use, more or less. I do use, like I said, a lot of the Casa timers, if that counts as technology. Oh, I do have a Wi-Fi controlled valve on my RO system so that I can tell it if I want it to turn on for like 3 hours. I can set that with my phone in the living room. If I know I need to make more RO, all I have to do is turn the valve on, and it's automatically set to run for however long it takes to fill the little reservoir up. Oh, I do have like a pump system. I don't know if you call that technology though, but I have a pump system, like a siphon hose, for, any and all tanks. It just pulls water straight out of the tank, even if it's low to the ground. So you know how if you try and do a gravity siphon, it really fucking sucks to try and gravity siphon a tank that sits on the floor or low to the ground. Solve that problem. I just attached a what is it called? A water pressure pump to a shallow well pump, and lo and behold, all you have to do is turn it on with a Casa timer, and you'll siphon straight into the drain, into the bathtub. So that works perfectly. And I put a little mesh filter on it, so I'm not sucking fish up or shrimp or anything like that. And then I use the Python hose to fill tanks. If I need to fill tanks with RO water, I just pump that with a sump pump that I put in the reservoir, and then attach a Python hook to the end of that with a hose and just pump it that way. But yeah, as far as tech goes, like that's all I can think of. At the moment anyway. If I think of more, I'll chime in, but I feel like I need to go walk around the fish room and see if I got everything. Oh, very behind in the chat now though. I apologize. Let's see. Oh, Shirley's in. What's up, Shirley? Let's see. And then Benjamin Peters is in. Air juice is now forever in my repertoire. I'm glad I could help you out with that. Let's see. Bum, bum, bum. Ooh, raging hormones in the house. Just like, it always sucks. Bum, 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 bum. Mm-mm-mm. Bum, ba-dum, dum, dum. Oh, yep. June likes the app for the lights. Fluval has you addicted. Yeah. Just wait until I sprung for some aqua illumination lights. Holy shit, dude. They are the bee's knees. I freaking love them. They're super customizable. They even do like a moon cycle. It took me a minute to figure out how to do that, but it's fucking cool and I love it. Anyhow, ooh, Shirley's got about 30 tanks. Yeah, exactly. You have an app, but it always just end up writing things down. It's so much faster, and as long as you can, write legibly, you'll be able to, recall what you were doing. Plus, there's that link between like writing things down and then remembering it in your brain, so that's always helpful too. Talking about period supplies. Yep. I don't think living in a house with two women, like, number one, hair ties everywhere. Number two, hair everywhere. So much hair. And then you put 3 dogs into the equation. Daily vacuuming doesn't even get it all. So it's a losing battle. And then 3, period supplies. So many. Like Costco trips specifically are made for those supplies. And they don't last very long at all. So I get it. Oh, okay. I have the Ring app for the Ring cameras in the fish room. And oh, yes, you got the Mocreo for the temp sensors. Yes, I remember telling you about that. They're fantastic. I love them for monitoring and having an audible alarm for the discus tanks. I had them set up before I had to move all the discus when Texas froze a month or so ago. And I haven't set them back up, but yes, I definitely use that. I've got wireless humidity monitors that will send humidity readings to my phone for like the front of the room, the back of the room. They're more for like safety to make sure that the dehumidifier is working. So there's that. And then I do plan on putting some Casa, like, what are they, like baby cameras, designed for like watching infants. But I plan to put those in the fish room once I have them all, once I have it all set up and everything. That's kind of like a last stage task, you know? I'm curious about the other devices those 2 apps have, but haven't jumped yet. Yeah. I don't blame you. I mean, like automatic monitoring and notifications when something's not going right is the entire reason I like immediately jumped on the Hydros controller system for the saltwater tank. And if I was more like into tinkering and being very specific about what I wanted the controller to do, I would have gone with Neptune. Because, like, for example, I built my computer. So, like, I know how to program things more or less. I mean, I know how a computer works and thinks. So I would definitely be able to make use of a Neptune system. But I just don't think I wanted that much customization over the control of everything. So Hydros kind of does it all for you. It's more of like a fill in the blank system instead of you programming the whole thing. So I think that makes it more plug and play, which is kind of what I was after. So that's what I worked for that. But also, like, these controllers, I know that they're pricey, but like they work equally as well in saltwater as freshwater. And I have half a mind to set up some Hydros controllers on like a tank that I want to put CO2 into and monitor, monitor the water just like you do in a saltwater tank. And I want to put Easy Green on an auto doser so that I'm not having and have that tied up to the controller so that I can change if I need to change the amount that it's dosing daily, I can from my phone. Which a lot of people would be like, that's a lot of points of failure, like if something goes wrong, it'll go really wrong. And you know what? Like, yeah, shit happens. But like, will the tank benefit way more from the consistency of the controller doing it? Yes, I think in the long run, versus me who's like dependable maybe half the time to get things consistent before I get distracted and do something else. So, Scotty, I will send you a link. What is NFC? Like I said, they're these little stickers that you can put on whatever you want, and you can program them to take automatic notes or honestly whatever you want. The possibilities are kind of immeasurable with them. So um, it's they're really great. And it would be like I know how they work. I know what they are, but I don't have the brain power or the vocabulary to explain how they work and what they do and why they're useful, which I feel like is what you need. So there's got to be like a YouTube video on that. But yeah, just like look up NFC tag and like, or Google it and like, or chat GPT it and it will break it down for you. Like they're awesome. Ooh, I was ready to go pick up anyone from anywhere. I made a deal with my kids that they could pick up friends before curfew if they needed, and I would pick up after curfew. That's good on you, Sketty. I like that. Zen, you're better than Google itself. Better than Grok, even. What about Claude? I don't know. Apparently, there was a big thing about Chat GPT and people like unsubscribing from it for some reason or another. And my wife told me to go to Claude, and I was like, absolutely not. All I use Chat GPT for is like tank calculations and directions. So, ooh. June, try scuba journals. They're waterproof. Yeah, like I mean, something like I know technically using pencil in the write in the rain journal is like write as in like write something with a WRITE in the rain. And pencil will always work. Some pens will work really well. Other pens will not work well. So you kind of have to play around and find something that you like. But yeah, scuba journals would work too. They're basically the same thing. Can you create a profile on an app for them? So like the profile will have a tank number and inventory. Then every time you scan the tag, it tracks water changes. Can you add data to scans like parameters? Yeah, you can definitely. You can have it set up to where once you scan the tag, it inputs information into a Google Sheets like sheet, an Excel file or whatever. And if you want, you can manually you would have to probably manually put in the parameters for that particular water change. But yeah. Yeah. But Wi-Fi controlled valve, yes. They're on Amazon, they are designed for sprinkler systems. But the one I have, I think, is a Rainbird. I'd have to double check. It wasn't that expensive, though. I think it might have been $30, maybe. But for that much convenience, it was worth it to me. But yeah, super easy to set up, and it works so well. Yes, they're awesome. Waterproof journals are about the same price. Next ones will be those. Yeah. They're not cheap by any means. Like the spiral one that I use, like a normal sized notebook one. And by normal sized, I mean like one that you would use in like, I don't know, school. Like to write your English essays in. But I use that size, and I think it's like $21. When it goes on, I only get it when it goes on sale, but I always keep like an extra one whenever I'm running out, so that I go from one right into the other. Works great. I use the water faucet to get the low tanks going. Let me tell you, I only have so much patience, and the water pressure in my house was shit for the longest time. And now it's fixed and it's much better since we had to get a new pressure regulator valve. But the fact that we had such low water pressure made siphoning tanks using the faucet to start the siphon impossible. So, and like I said, I've only got so much patience and so much time. I needed a solution that would work every time. And so far, that's what I've got. And I can't recommend it enough. I love it. The only problem is the hoses. They're long, but I have to get it to the all the way from the guest bathroom to the office, so kind of like a hazard of what needed to be done. But ooh, Caitlin says I had to step away. I'm gonna have to rewatch to hear about the tech thing you were talking about. I'm excited to try Lowell's egg collector and tray, which I recently printed. Yeah, they're great. The Lowell's trays are excellent. I love them. The only thing I would absolutely recommend is that you avoid at all costs getting duckweed in the tray itself. Get If it's in there, get it the hell out because it will only cause you problems. The only other thing I can think of is that the white, so I ordered them on his little Etsy shop, and the only complaint that I have is that the white 3D printed material, I don't know what it's called, but the material is great for growing algae. So if you're like me and you wanted to have, a decent amount of light on the trays so that you could actually see the fry and make sure that they were doing all right, as well as like clean out the detritus and stuff and keep the tray relatively clean, you got to watch out for algae buildup, because it definitely will build up, and it will build up faster than you're able to control it. So better to stay on top of it than just say F it and let it go. Because if you do say F it and let it go, you can kiss like all of your fry goodbye, pretty much. Like you either won't be able to find them, you won't be able to feed them effectively, or they'll just die. It's not good stuff. So, let's see. Once I move to the States and remodel the house, I'm going to need help with all the techie stuff. Yeah, for sure. I'll help you out. No problem. What the heck? Hello, it's been ages. Who are you talking to, Sketty? Oh, David. Huh? What's up, David? Okay, I actually mentioned you in the stream earlier, and I hope you were you'll watch the replay because talked about your fancy fish journal that I owe you and eggnog, which I still have to try. I was supposed to try it over Christmas, but never did. So I still owe you that. It will have to be next year, I guess, though, unless, I don't know, you've got an eggnog dealer that deals eggnog, around non-Christmas times. But you, of all people, would not have an eggnog dealer, so probably just have to wait. Okay, June, the pens that some of those waterproof notebooks will come with, I hate. They don't write very smooth. I find that using just a regular, I have to have one around here, like a regular ballpoint pen works a million times better than those like pressurized ink pens. I kind of hate the ones that they come with, so be cautious of those. Maybe the one that you're talking about will work and it will be the best pen of your entire life and you're going to love it. But that has not been my experience. So heads up on that. Cinnamon, what's up? Thanks for coming in. And Zen, you're not wrong. The AI lights are expensive, but holy crap, they look amazing. There's no way on this earth that I could afford to outfit my entire fish room with something like AI lights or Kessel lights. But I gotta say, the people have a point when they're talking about how much it changes or how much it can change the way that a tank looks. And I gotta say, like, you do get what you pay for. At least that's been my experience with the AI lights, because I had one of my lights stop working. I bought it in December and it stopped working beginning of February. And all I had to do was contact AI customer service, show them my receipt where I bought it from, and then they sent me a brand new light with no question. Like, they weren't like, what the hell did you do to it? Because I have no idea what I did to it to make it stop working. But I tried their troubleshooting and it didn't work. And they were like, okay, here's a new one. I had to send in the old one so that they could figure out what went wrong. But it was so painless. Like, they sent me the box, so I just reused the box, and they sent a return label. So I just slapped that right on the box and sent it to UPS with all the other packages I send. So it was painless. And I've got to say, the only other company that I've had that same exact experience with was Aquarium Co-op, when I had a problem with their lights. So, like, +1 for customer service on AI's behalf. I can't speak to Kessel, but I would assume that they're similar. But yeah. So anyhow, I think, yes, the lights are expensive, but if the light changes the appearance of the tank so much that it starts to really matter to you, which is not everybody, but in my case, it was me, then if you have a certain display, it's impractical for a fish room, but if you have a single display that you want to look like above and beyond, that you want people to be like, holy shit, that looks amazing as soon as they walk in your house, like, pay for some lights. Like, yes, Amazon lights will work just as, they'll grow plants just as well as the others. But there's a significant difference between like a Chihiro's light and an Amazon light. There's a significant difference and there's also a significant difference in the price point between the two. And you're paying for that customizability. You're paying for the longevity of the parts. You're paying for the quality of customer service. There's all the like little things that you don't take into account, that are kind of like hidden benefits of expensive effing lights. But yeah, anyway, I'll get off my soapbox about the lights, but I was not convinced until I tried them out, and they worked way better than what I thought they were going to do. And then I was kind of like, okay, you might have a point. The AI lights are effing nice, and I like them enough to recommend them if you can swing it. But yeah, not everybody can swing it, and that's perfect. That's fine. So, Anna Banana's in. What's up, girl? Hey everyone, I've been lurking but love the NFC idea. I'll need to watch that part again to understand what app you're using to keep track of. Hold on. I want to say, I have too many apps on my phone. I'm not going to be able to find it. But it's super common, not hard to find. And I think there's a variety of apps that you could use. Like, I think there's at least 2 or 3, but there is one that is like used way more than any other. And I think it's the one that has the more reviews. And if I can remember correctly, I think that the icon for the app is blue, if that helps. But I'd have to figure out what it is off the stream because I can't multitask. So I can only whole ass one thing at a time. So relatable, even with just me. There's plenty of hair and hair ties around. Yeah. When am I going to take Jodi's name out of the title? Yeah, it has been forever. But she insists that she's coming back. So until I hear otherwise, we started it together, we'll end it together. But it doesn't bother me one way or another to have her name in or out of the stream. So but she does say that she's going to come back. She just has like every time she intended to come back today, but then something came up and wasn't able to. So it just happens that way sometimes. I don't know what to tell you, David. Maybe don't complain about it because it's not a problem. um, ooh, I have an automatic feeder for my cats. They never pester me for food. You know what? I have an automatic feeder for my discus and they still pester me for food. So that can be a pain in the ass. But yeah. Oh, you built computers in the past, Scotty? They're complicated now, but I actually need to sit down and install some more RAM on my motherboard, but I just haven't had the mental fortitude to just sit down and do it. I have it, and I bought all the RAM at the same time, same series or whatever, so that's not a problem. But DDR5 was too unstable at the time to install 4 sticks, so I could only do 2. And that's what it's running on right now. But I will eventually get around to putting the other 2 sticks in there, and then there will be 4, and it will be a monster of a machine, more than it already is. So let's see. Oh yeah, hair ties are very useful for wrapping cords and Python holders. Absolutely true. But Jodi's a permanent guest host. Yeah. When she's available, that woman is busier than anybody else I know. Oh yeah, inkbirds are technically technology. So like any tank that I have a heater in has a heater controller on it, which is what an inkbird is. So it's not an inkbird brand, but it is a nearly identical piece of equipment. So yeah. With how crazy my life is now with work and such, I need to do some automation or semi-automation. I'm telling you, it makes life a lot easier when something is at least somewhat automated, so that you don't have to fuss over the tank. Like, you can fuss over the tank if you want to fuss over it, but it's not required. And that's the level of where I want automation to put me. I don't want it to be 100% in control of everything, because that takes away from my enjoyment of the hobby. But I don't want it to be a headache every single day, having to do the same thing over and over and over again at the same time. You know, something that a computer would be a lot better at doing, like an auto doser for Easy Green, for example. Like, I am shit at remembering to put Easy Green in my planted tanks. I just suck at it. Like, I mean, I'm great at it when I remember to do it, but I am not nearly as consistent as a computer is when it comes to dosing and keeping things at the same stable parameters all the time, right? So I would rather have a computer do that, and that makes my life easier and the hobby better for me. So it's not that way for everybody, but like I said, just enough automation to where your tank is no longer a worrisome pain in the ass. That's what I want. Oh yeah, for that stuff, if something goes wrong, it's probably just the plants that would suffer anyways. Fish can put up with a lot more nonsense. It's true. Yeah. I mean, I think fish could tolerate the parameters for as long as it would take you to notice that something was wrong, if that makes sense. So you have a lot of leeway when it comes to, I mean, you don't have infinite leeway. Like, you're not going to be able to, just dump your entire CO2 tank into the tank and, call it a day and not notice it for 2 weeks. Like, that's a little extreme. But I'm talking about like maybe a day or 2. I mean, if you have a CO2 tank hooked up to your tank, like, you're looking at your tank more often than once every 2 days. So you'll notice. But anyhow, that's my opinion anyway. Ooh, Steven, you like Claude so far? I haven't even tried. I haven't even tried to spread my wings and try a different AI system. I'm sure he's fine, you know? Except Claude. Like, why Claude? I don't know about that name, but you know, whatever. Nobody asked me. Um, but everyone just upload personal photos and identifiers to make a cool AI version of themselves. I refuse. Like the ones that like will add an automatic like filter to your face and your pictures and stuff like on Instagram and stuff. Nope, not about it. Absolutely not. No, thank you. I like my own data where I have it, which is not out there yet, as far as I know. I don't know. China probably has it somehow. Um, why not use a digital recorder than voice to print? Don't remember what exactly you're referring to, you. But that seems like a lot of steps. Uh, like you'd have to record it and then upload it to your computer and then voice to print to make notes. I'm assuming is what you're talking about versus just writing something down or scanning like a little NFC tag with your phone. It takes literally seconds of your time versus like using a digital recorder would necessitate like a process, which at least in my mind will end up taking you a lot longer than just a click or a quick jot of a note or something like that in a notebook anyway. Nog. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. A little sand at the bottom of the little fry tank worked well for you to avoid algae. Even for CPDs, I started putting a little layer of very fine sand that would suck out when cleaning the tray. Yeah, it's a good idea. Not a bad idea. You can make eggnog? Well, they make it somehow. So I would assume a layman could also make it, but I don't know. Is it going to turn out like my uncle's shitty ass garage beer? That was horrible. I don't know if I can give it a fair shake if it's made by a human. I feel like I would need some kind of standardization of the eggnog, which is why, by the way, I was willing to try 3 different brands or like 3 different kinds. So, David, if you're listening still, we can add that to my video. It'll be an entire panel of eggnog, and you know, if there's a certain kind, you can't say like you didn't give XYZ a fair shake because you didn't even try it. Well, if it needs to be in the list, then tell me. I need to add it to the list. Obviously not David. It would be somebody like Jeff telling me that, but because David would recommend that I not drink it at all. But yeah, I'm willing to try it, and I'll try it live. But I need some direction because I know nothing about it. Why do we need waterproof notebooks? I missed that part. Taking notes in the fish room, your paper will get wet. And when you make like regular notebook paper wet, it just becomes illegible and tears really easy. Just a huge mess. So the waterproof paper and the waterproof notebooks helps negate that inevitable part of your notes for your tanks and whatever you're doing getting wet and being completely ruined. So that's what I use it for anyway. Oh, not to mention that they also, I know Ride in the Rain, and I know there's several other brands of it. They have like printable inkjet paper. So if instead of a spiral notebook, you wanted like loose leaf paper, you could also do it that way. So food for thought. Ooh, crazy shots. Hello. I don't think I've said hello to you. I wish I would have grabbed some co-op lights before they got poofed out of existence. Yeah, I totally lucked out on that, and I pretty much outfitted all the tanks I was gonna outfit with them as like right as and finished like right before they got poofed. So very, very lucky on that. So at least I think I was. What does 20 grade mean in relation to pool filter sand? Honestly, not sure. I know that pool filter sand is pretty fine. But I don't know what what the grade of pool filter sand is. That sounds like a question for Claude. I don't know. But yeah. Computers were a lot different 28 years ago? Yeah. Agreed, Scotty. Definitely. Oh, I want to avoid getting super powdery fine sand. My sand blasting sand is too fine, but didn't say that on the label. That's actually a really big problem in saltwater tanks, is having that super, super fine sand, because if you have enough flow in the tank, which means like the water movement of all of the water column in the tank is like churning, you'll end up picking up the sand and putting it into the water column and getting it into your filters, and it just causes nothing but problems. So what a lot of people do will be to use a different, instead of using like oolite, which is the super fine sand, they'll use Carib Sea special grade, which has it's still sand, but it's the particle size is a lot bigger. So it doesn't get churned up and washed around nearly as much as the super, super fine sand. So, yeah, that's if you were looking for a direction to go on that. But Prodigal says that the Inkbirds are great when they work. When they fail, you're pretty much on your own. Yeah. They're not known for their customer support. And if you're out of your Amazon return window, like, tough shit. Like, that kind of sucks. But yeah. Beto said that there's a reminders app on Apple phones. Yeah. I wish I liked it. I find it to be cumbersome and not intuitive for me. So I just set alarms for things independently. If I could figure out like how to make the reminders app work how I wanted it to work on my phone, I would absolutely be about it. And I'm sure that there's a way to do it. I'm not patient enough to sit down and figure it out. So that's more of a me problem, I think, than anything else. But yes, the reminders app is a great idea if it works for you. So yeah, that's great. Claude, clearly it should be named Fred. Who the hell is Claude? It's different AI, Lisa. China hacked my little farm town's light, water, and electric. What? It was even on 60 Minutes? What? I had not heard about that, but then again, watching the news is just depressing lately, so I tend not to do it. Claude is ChatGPT's baby daddy. Is that helpful? Ooh. I live in Texas. Start by milking a cow, then add nog somehow. Make short of it for YouTube's. Actually, funny you mentioned that. Like, one time there was so I live in the suburbs, like very suburban area. I don't want to say zero lot line houses, but like we're pretty close to one another. And like, anyway, there was a loose cow in our neighborhood one day. And there were like police, and then people showed up on horseback to kind of like wrangle it. So it was a very Texan experience, but it was also extremely unexpected for the kind of situation that I live in. Like super suburban city life. And then there's a cow in my freaking neighborhood. That was weird, but it happened. So uh, it that was a very strange day, but yeah. I just want to draw your attention to the fact that it's 7:49 at the time of writing. Yeah, or 6:49 in my case. Um. Oh yeah, I'm not on Facebook, Cinnamon. So that's why you couldn't find me, is because I'm not on there. I have a new phone, so that's probably why. Can you send me a message, Guppies, if you don't remember? Yeah, I can do it. I mean, you're nearly 2 hours in. Yes. Um. Yeah. You're welcome, Scotty. We've just been chatting it up about all the things. Let's see. Prodigal says it's been a trip going on 1 in the morning here, so time for bed. Oh my gosh. Where are you, Prodigal? Damn. Yeah, go to bed. You deserve it. Get some sleep. Get some rest. Have a wonderful night, Prodigal. Oh, hush, Zen. I just don't like that particular app. Most other apps, wonderful. No complaints. I love them even. But the reminders app, not about it. So I get it. Okay, and that is one thing I will say is kind of like the difference between Hydros and Neptune controllers that I mentioned earlier that are in the saltwater world. If you want to be like super tinkery and like customize the shit out of your system, then you need to go with a Neptune, which is basically the equivalent of an Android phone. If you want to just customize the living shit out of your phone and have all your stuff a certain way and have the ability to program things and whatnot, like Android is your buddy. But if you just want something that's like basically set up where you just like plug and play and like don't really have to think about how you want things to work, iPhones are way superior in that department. So that's what I will say on the iPhone versus Android debate. And it just depends on what you want. And if you know what you like, it is very easy to choose. So there. So there. Ha. Ha. I could totally see me looking out the window and seeing Vibes on horseback chasing a cow. Well, he would have to go a pretty long way. He's in Austin, and I'm like 45 minutes north of Dallas. So that's quite a trail ride. But yeah, he could totally do that with his cowboy boots, and he's got to have a lasso, right? You know? Why are you asking Nancy if she has cows? Are there cows in Tennessee? I thought it was like farming. I don't know. It's Tennessee. I don't really know much about it other than like country music. I don't have any cows of your own. I do pass cows every day though. Oh, interesting. Okay. There are cows in Tennessee then. Scotty is shocked that I only have 279 subs. Yes, that's the truth. I mean, I don't really promote anything, and I try not to be annoying. So like, I don't think it's shocking that I only have 279. I mean, honestly, I was convinced for the longest time that people only tuned into the stream because they wanted to see Jodi and talk about loaches. And I was just like, I don't know, comedic input, comic relief. But I don't know. There's 25 of y'all in here right now. We had 28 at one point, which is kind of cool. But I do think there are several people who watch it on replay, which I'm thankful for. Like, I'm glad people like listening. Even though we don't necessarily, or I don't necessarily have like, I was talking to Jodi about this. I don't have a topic of discussion because I feel like what I like to listen to on YouTube are conversations between friends about the hobby. And like generally there are tangents, but like everything kind of circles back and comes back around to fish keeping somehow, right? Um, because we enjoy, or because I enjoy the hobby so much, I naturally will be like, oh my gosh, that reminds me of this one time I did XYZ in this tank and it did that. And, but I mean, I think that that's part of what makes the conversation like genuine and natural. So, and interesting to listen to. So yeah, I think people who kind of like force the topic, it becomes like forced and just it doesn't flow, and we can't like that. So, nah, that's what I think about that. Um, all right, Zen's an Apple hater, and so is Nancy B. Sorry, guys. I'm Team iPhone, and I'm not. It is what it is. I like what I like. So there's that. If he doesn't have a lasso, he's got airline tubing. Yeah, that would work too. And Vibes definitely has belt buckles. Are they like legit like rodeo belt buckles, or like just ones he bought from like, I wanted to say Forever 21, but I don't think you get belt buckles from there. You could probably get them from like Boot Barn or some shit. I don't know. I don't shop there, but he might. Oh, it says 280 now. Someone else subbed. Hell yeah. Like an even number. Did you think all the cows live in Texas? Hell no. But I did not know the status of cows in Tennessee. That's for sure. Oh. Huh. Decent number of cows in Massachusetts. Interesting. I would have thought it's kind of too cold up there, but I don't know. Oh, I didn't know that, Zen. The Honolulu Zoo has Texas longhorns in their exhibits, like exotic animals, which they would be for Hawaii, but like, do they have like a bunch of beavos or like, which I guess, yeah, that would make sense. I mean, there's a ranch that's kind of close to my house and they have longhorns, so that's cool. Oh, Caitlin, you usually watch the replay. I'm glad you got to catch it live. Even if it's for not a great reason that you're in the hospital, but thank you for watching the replays. Thanks for being a loyal fan. Just making sure it's rural enough for when you move there, Scotty. Well, how are you going to get all your technology hooked up if you live in the middle of effing nowhere? And longhorns are the coolest. They're something. I'm bougie, don't sell myself short. Yeah, it's true. Apple's bougie, so it's significantly more expensive for the user experience that I actually really want. Versus I went from an Apple to an Android back to Apple because I hated the Android so much. I'll be outnumbered until the day I die. So I will die an Apple funt for life. So I will, you can pry it out of my cold, dead, funty ass hands because I'm not giving it up. Probably has a Daisy Cottage cheese belt buckle. You know what? They have weird ones. I know, like, you can buy the weird ones, but like the belt buckles that are actually impressive are the ones that you get from like winning rodeo events. So like, and the bigger, like more prestigious the event, the more outrageous the belt buckle usually is. So like, yeah, there's a whole system of judgment for these things here. I don't know if we want to go into that, but it exists. And now you know. But The moment I text a new person and it's green, not blue, is always disappointing. Girl, don't I know it? I just want to be able to text somebody on Wi-Fi all day long. Yeah. It stresses Scotty out. I don't want to say it stresses me out, but it's definitely like, damn it, I'm going to have problems sending this person pictures or videos or whatever kind of media I'm sending, because there's always a problem. Always a problem with the green bubbles. But which I guess gets back to Zen's point that it's not always compatible, but I don't fucking care. Be blue or don't get my funny content. There's cows in Canada, mountain greenery. I should have known. Although, do they have like longer hair there to like protect them from the cold? Like, do you have to keep them in heated barns? Like, how does that? You can't just have them out in the middle of a pasture, can you? In Canada? That seems a little like neglect. And that just shows exactly how high on their horses iPhone users are. Well, you know what? Don't even care. Apple fun sounds tasty, like fritter or something. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't have a witty comeback to that, but like, I'm good, I suppose. I haven't been to the rodeo in forever. I need to change that. Big trucks, tractors, country music. I hate country music. I can't stand it. It's all about ex-wives and trucks and beer and dogs. That's it. Don't like it. No, thank you, please. That would probably be my version of hell, would be somewhere hot and listening to nothing but country music nonstop. I would hate that. That would be awful. Ooh, Dee Dee's got to go pick up pizza. I can't believe you're still on. I mean, what the people want, I will give them if I can. So, yeah, no problems here. I guess I could talk for longer, as long as everybody's like hanging in there with me. Like, I've got no problems sticking on for a little while. Got nothing else to do tonight. And to be honest, it's a nice distraction from what's been happening lately. So I appreciate it. Ooh, I'm a lifetime member of the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. So, oh, can ever for free? I don't know what you meant there, but it's so friggin' packed and everything else is so expensive. I don't want to go anymore. Yeah. That's kind of how I feel about the state fair. Up here is like, it was great when the crowds were about half the size and, you know, you got to really like enjoy your experience and enjoy your time, even though it's hot and like it's a lot of the same stuff year after year. Like, going and seeing the show animals was always cool. If you go at the right time, and you can see, you know, like how the judges are judging, and like you can see these really cool, all this cool stuff. And now there are so many people. It is so crowded. Like, you can't even get your corny dog without like brushing up against some asshole who's, you know, just looks like he took a shower and now it's all over you. And so it's just a whole lot of disgusting and like not about it. So I'd rather not go anymore, but I get it. It used to be like a really cool, fun outing, and it is no longer such a thing, at least for me. Oh, so I can enter for free. Dear God, the typing is abysmal today. Yeah. That makes a lot more sense now that you amended what you said. And crowds are the worst. I got to agree. They make everything horrible. Country women are built different. They got grit. I mean, if anybody is a testament to that, it would be Jodi. So yeah, lives in the middle of nowhere and got more grit than I've ever seen a person have. So yeah, agree. That's got to be illegal to not like country music when you reside in Texas. Well, let me tell you, it's also uh, unimaginable to be liberal, but here I am. We got that big blue wave coming, right? Yeah, right. I don't know. I'm not convinced it'll happen, but we can dream. Um, did you do barrel racing? That's oddly specific, Scotty. But maybe she did. Um, oh, that's true. The horses and cows and dogs and cats will all get warmer winter coats. And by I mean they grow them. But we also love a barn. Yeah, I get that. Still 26 people who clearly also don't want to go deal with the real life either, or family in their case. Yeah, that's impressive for me. I'm just glad y'all are hanging around. Um, do you have a Stetson? Oh my god, that's all my grandpa wore. He had like 4 or 5 different Stetsons in rotation. Um, but one in particular he wore all the time. So that was his like dirty Stetson. And then he had a nice one. And then, like, how it goes. But yeah, that's funny. Um, let's see. I don't get me wrong, I don't like all country music. Definitely not the same as it used to be, but something about a few beers and doing the boot scoon boogie. Yeah, no. That's a hard pass for me. No, thank you, Scotty. I will nope the F right out of that situation. All the northern cows are wearing LL Bean puffy coats. You know what? My wife gave me so much shit about ordering an LL Bean parka because she's like, we live in Texas. Not this is not parka country. And then you know what happened? That was the first time Texas froze over. And you know who was warm out walking the dogs in their parka? This bish. And you know who was effing cold while walking the dogs in that weather? She was. So I no longer catch any flack about my choice of outerwear. So worked out for me in the end. Um, let's see. Isn't Texas shifting left? I thought it was. Well, I'll believe it when it happens. Um, oh, as someone who showed the animals, dogs there and being stuck on the bench for 12 hours a day for at least 7 days every summer watching people, I don't like going to the fair anymore either. Yeah. I mean, I could totally see how being on the other side, like not being a spectator, but being like a what would you call like a performer in the fair, a participant in the actual fair itself. I could totally see how that would ruin the future experience of a fair. So yeah, I get that. I get it. Dee Dee used to barrel race. What did you not do, Dee Dee? You're a woman of many talents. I didn't know. Zen, I would not have pegged you to have a Stetson, a George Strait one at that, but at least it is a George Strait one. I know if I know anything about country music, it's like Reba's good, George Strait is good, and Dolly Parton is Jesus. So uh that's all I got. Dee Dee's done it all. That's what I was saying. She gets more and more amazing every day. It's very true. Um, let's see. It kept it kept my hair acting right all night with all the Houston humidity frizz. Yeah. Yeah. I every time I find myself in Houston, it's just like breathing soup. I don't know how you live down there. Mm-mm. I mean, it's bad enough up here, but Houston's 10 times worse. No, thank you. I love San Antonio. I like the Riverwalk. It's a nice part of San Antonio. I guess it depends on what part of San Antonio you're going to, but I've been in San Antonio a few times, and it's all right. It's kind of small, but then again, I'm used to Dallas size, so which is huge. Um, I can picture a super chat thing, Zenny on her steed, pink hair and assless chaps while wearing her hat. Well, you know, Dee, by nature, chaps are inherently assless. But I do love the emphasis that they are assless, so I'll allow it. But yeah. It just makes me laugh. Damn, you spent like 10 years doing that? At the last 10 years of fairs. Wow. Jeez. Oh, what's up, Daniel? Daniel Velez is in the chat. What's up? What's up? Ooh. And actual boots. Well, I do have boots. I love them. Whenever I was in Peace Corps, I brought them with me to Morocco, and they were a hit. Everybody, like, I got asked so many questions about them by locals, which was hilarious to me. They'd never seen shoes quite like them, except like in movies, and so there was a lot of ogling that happened. But I mean, you are what you are. So, now the boots need to be added. Yep. Yep. Weird is the goal. That's true. If you're not weird, you're not interesting. And I think that's a hill I'll die on. I am of that opinion. I bought some cowboy boots when I went to Tennessee. Haven't worn them since, and that'll change in June. Scotty, what? Why would you buy boots and not wear them? I mean, that seems. Boots are made for walking. Don't you know? Haven't you heard that in your country music? At some point or another? I think you're doing country wrong, sir. Do comfortable cowboy boots exist? They do. They're expensive, usually. But yeah, once you break them in, mine are super comfortable. I wear them all. Oh, I would wear them all the time, but I have no reason to wear them right now. My ex and I got Western boots, and within a week we had a horse. That's funny. Ooh, Fuzzy's got to head out and put some dinner together. But thanks for the stream and have a good night. Thank you, Fuzzy. I hope you have a wonderful dinner. Maybe some. I don't know. I was gonna say ramen, but then I was like, I don't know. I don't know what you're feeling tonight. It would be funny if it included popcorn. If we're gonna circle all the way back to the beginning of the stream, but yeah. Have a wonderful evening, and enjoy your food. Dee still has those boots. Nice. Boots are made for blisters. I mean, not if you break them in. But I think that's a mistake a lot of people make is they just like start wearing them and they're not prepared. You kind of, I don't know, you can't, it's like, you can't do that. You can't just raw dog your boots. Like, ugh, that's a recipe for disaster. But But then eventually switched to the area at Lace Up Kind when I had to start walking the entirety of Reliance Stadium on a regular basis. Yeah. My boots are actually Ariats, but they're I forget what they are, but those were the most comfortable. And it's kind of like it was kind of like a Cinderella shoe moment when I found them. It was like uncomfortable, uncomfortable, uncomfortable. Every pair I was trying was like worse than the previous one. And then I tried the Ariats on and I was like, yep, these are it. And just went from there. Um, Scotty, boots go where they go. You live in a suburban / urban area. They don't exactly go well. They go. You got to rock them, you know? Broken in boots are everything. It's true. And it goes for all kinds of boots, I would say. Not just cowboy boots, but like all the boots. Um Also duct tape on the heel, no blisters. It's true. I lean more towards Docs than cowboy boots, but whatever. Yeah. I mean, I don't wear my boots nearly as much anymore, but I have my lace up Danners that I spotted them in a movie and Reese Witherspoon was wearing them and I was like, I need those fucking shoes. Those are my shoes. Like I feel it in my soul. I was meant to wear those shoes. And I've never looked back, and they're my favorite shoes of all time. And I'm a little bummed because it's February and it's already 80 something degrees. So it doesn't really make sense to wear my Danners around because they're like leather hiking boots and they're just hot. But so I didn't get my little temporary period of wearing them this year, but maybe next year. But that's great. Like once your feet stop changing sizes, I love that. You can just wear them next year and it's all fine. Ooh, yeah. Boots are a vibe, not a location. I could not have said it better myself, Scotty, take notes in your little weatherproof fish room notebook. I used to hate having to get new fire boots. Yeah, I can imagine. Especially like something super stiff like a steel toe. Ugh. Just sounds uncomfortable. Make a statement. If they made Docs that didn't feel clunky, I would love the style. But like Converse, it makes my feet feel like I'm wearing flat bottom weights. Interesting. Although I will say, my wife like has this thing about her feet being hot, and like I'm I don't quite understand it because like once I put my shoe on, be it like a boot or a athletic shoe or whatever shoe it is, like I as long as I've got socks on, like I have no concern about the temperature of my feet. I don't get why I don't get how your feet could be so hot in just like a normal pair of shoes that now you have to wear mesh shoes because leather shoes are too uncomfortable because they're too hot. I don't get that. Maybe I suffer for my fashion, but like it doesn't make any sense to me. So I wonder if like that's part of your problems then is like, do they feel they're too hot and heavy that they're just not comfortable, or like you just don't like the style? I don't know. So I don't know. Interesting. Um. Bum bum bum. Airwave Docs that are lightweight. Oh, I didn't know Doc Martens made a lightweight boot or whatever they are, lace up boots. Interesting. I'll have to look those up. Um. As long as I have socks on, I have no issues with temp. Yeah, like as long as I don't feel my feet sliding around in the shoes, like I'm fine. But yeah, it's the heft of it. It's like food texture, something about the way it just feels icky. I'm sure it's a me thing. No, I get it. Because I can't stand the feeling of like certain fabrics, and so I will not, even if I love the shirt to death, I will not buy it because I know I will not wear it. Um, it could be like the best possible shirt in every other way, but if it doesn't feel right to me, I'm not doing it. Absolutely not. Mm-mm. Ooh, Sketty, I totally agree. Hot is bad. I'd rather be cold. I can't even think straight when I get hot. Yeah. I hot is just problematic all the way around, no matter how you look at it. Whoa, I made it to the bottom of chat. Holy crap. It only took, what, 2.5 hours? Jesus. Huh. Who'd have thunk it? But yeah. Interesting. Well, I mean, I keep going, but like, I don't know. Let's talk killies. How did I know, Scotty? How did I know you're going to bring that up? I mean, what about him? Like, I am pro killifish. They are cool. And I like them. Oh, thanks, Lisa. Appreciate you. How many types does Scotty have going? Now, that's a question I would love to know the answer to. Do tell. Pray tell, Scotty. How many types do you have? Name every species you have right now, and what do you have babies of? Oh, I'm not breeding anything right now. Not on purpose, anyway. But right now I've got the red Gularis. I'm a little suspicious of them though because I haven't seen the male in a little while. I've got a tight fitting lid, and the only possible escape route is in the very front of the tank. And so if he jumped out, I definitely would have seen it. So I don't know. He might just be chilling in the back, avoiding the female. But I've only seen the female recently, so I find that very suspicious. Let's see. I had well, I had some really nice Australs, but now I've only got a male, and he was the lesser male of the two. Like, one of his tail streamers is kind of like blunt at the end instead of being like tapered and streamery. So if I did want to breed them, I would not breed him, which is unfortunate because like he's the one that ended up living, which sucks. But the female went first and then the other male followed. So I think it was some kind of I don't think it was a parasite. I think it had to have been some kind of like bacteria or virus or something. Oh my god, Nancy B. My freaking beta antutas, that male can kiss my ass. He does nothing but just lounge around and eat. Like, that's all he does. Like, he's not interested in anything. He just wants to like be amongst the leaves and be left alone. So what I think I'm gonna do is take the female out for maybe a month or so, and kind of like do a few water changes, maybe reset his mind a little bit, and then reintroduce the female, and then maybe that will entice him to pay attention to her. But like, I don't know. She tries. She really gives A+ effort every time. But he is just so disinterested. Like, he could literally do anything other than breed, which is bullshit. But anyway, that's what I'm gonna try when I get around to doing it. Breeding anyway. I was thinking about moving them back into the fish room instead of having them in the office, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. But oh, Nick has some Australs. Yeah, I love them. They're so. I mean, they're the more common of the killifish that you'll find, but like you can't beat them for like color and pattern. The orange is so orange and bright and vivid that like they're really cool. Um, and as as much as I want to hate on them for being so common and popular, like you can't not like them. They're just they're too cool. So yeah, I'm gonna end up getting some more, I think, but probably a few months away from that right now. So I too want to be left alone amongst my leaves. Oh wait, how many did you say? 23. Wow. That's pretty impressive, Scotty. That's a lot. And if you're breeding all of them, hats off. Like that's great. I love that. Um absence doesn't always make my heart grow fonder, but it sure is kinder. Yeah, I get it. Oh, not breeding. Okay. So, I mean, are you breeding some of them, I would assume? I mean, it would be a shame to have 23 different species and not breed some of them. But I guess it depends which ones. Um let's see. Did I miss anything? I feel like I did. I surely feels my pain. Or Beta alba marginata male isn't interested in breeding either. I don't know what it is, but he could not have a more willing female, and he's just like, nah. How about never? Not my fault. But oh, he's not been pulling mops. Yeah. That's where I'm at. I wanted to for a while I wanted to try growing out some Praecox rainbows. But I don't think the females were big enough yet. And every time I tried to pull out the mop, I would just have nothing. So maybe I should the mop's still in there, so maybe I should check it. But like I said, I'm not into breeding right now. I want to get the 100-gallon moved into place and at least started before I even consider adding more projects to my plate. So got a little while before that'll happen, but it'll happen. Ooh, I've been pulling mops of Funnelo Panchax grisansi. Did I read that right? Grisansi, and getting tons of eggs, but nothing hatched yet. Got to try peat. Interesting. So, are you using RO or are you using tap water? Peat will be a lot more effective if you're using RO water. Just as like a side note, but you might be getting like calcification of the eggs if you've got if you're using tap water with those eggs. But yeah, tap. Yeah, careful. Like, just be. I mean, if you have super soft water, it might not be an issue, but like I know that's a huge problem with discus eggs is if the tap water is more than like I want to say 50 TDS, and even that's kind of high. If it's more than like I don't know 30 to 40, whatever in the water, like especially the calcium, it'll get all up in the membrane of the egg and totally suffocate it and fungus it over. So that could be your issue. And I don't know. I wonder if they could like spawn in the mop and then you just take the whole mop, and put it in some RO water. That's what I would try first because that keeps you from having to individually pick all the eggs out of the mop. But I don't know if they have to be there like immediately, or if it's just like an exposure time or whatever. But I would try that. Yeah, I would try it with RO. You might have better luck. Oh yeah, cool. Okay, so you know a few people who do that, Shirley. Nice. That would be my next move if it were me. But oh my, it's 7:35. We are we are so close to McStreamy right now. This is the closest I've ever been to like stepping on Steven's toes, but I'm totally not going to do that. So, besides, I'm sure he's like out having dinner right now or something. Gotta carbo load for that 2 hours of McStreamy. Hmm. But yeah. All right. We are awfully quiet in the chat. We've got 19 people here. If we're not hamming it up in chat, I've got no talking fuel, so it's gonna cut it sooner than later. This is the most awake I've been on a Friday at this time. It's because the level of entertainment is astounding. You are welcome, Lisa. Totally kidding, but you're not wrong. I could use some rest, but like I'm quite awake right now, so I feel that. I like pink peat incubation. It makes things so much smoother, and you can decide when you want a batch of killies. Yeah, it's a little bit more customizable, I guess. You can kind of control when you have fish and when you don't, but don't wait too long, you know? Thanks for the company, folks. Hell yeah, Sketty. Give us a fish room tour. Oh, Lord. That would be so embarrassing right now. It looks like absolute shit in the fish room right now. Everything is everywhere. There's no organization. There's cords everywhere. Nothing is how it's supposed. Well, I'm taking down 10-gallon tanks and replacing them and yada yada. Nah. Ooh, I totally didn't even remember there's a time change this weekend. I was not aware, but now I am. Ooh, what's the NEC auction? Neck auction. Interesting. Ooh, I'm dreading the 5 a.m. alarm on Sunday when it's really 4. Ugh. I don't know about that. No, thank you. Aren't you? Oh, retail. I was like, can't you sleep in on Sundays? But not if you have work to do. Oh, Northeast Council of Aquarium Societies annual auction. I didn't even know that was happening. I'm like Lisa, just now learning about this. I'll have to Google it, see when it is. Or Scotty could tell me. That would be a lot easier. Scotty, be Google. April 19th in Norwalk. Oh, if you have to be in person, then yeah, no. I thought it was going to be like online or something. And why so early? Yeah, that was my question. I would assume work, but you never know. Maybe she had to get up at 5/4 for pond activities outside. You got to start early or something. If you're not early, you're not on time. Ooh, and Jeff Pelham has an online auction coming up. Interesting. I did not know that either. Like I told you, Scotty, I'm way behind on Fish Fam news. Scotty should FaceTime me during the auction, buy whatever I want. Yeah, I would. I'm great with that. Like, just buy all my things. Perfect. And so does Skipper. Interesting. I'm probably having a surgery right before that. Oh, yikes. I hope it's not like a super painful surgery and that it's pretty routine. not like, I don't know, something catastrophic. That would suck. Ooh, yeah. I knew it. If Nancy B is not on my stream, I know it's because she's working, which is unfortunate, but necessary. Someday I'll go to another club event besides the only one I've been to, which is the Clash in 2025. I'm still bitter I didn't get to go to the Clash. I wanted to go to that wedding so bad. For shame. For shame. But yeah. Lisa Big talks about a convention in 2027. We're already talking about 2027? Oh, the NEC convention. Okay. I did not even know that aquarium society even existed. Also, I was not aware that you could like become a member of, for example, I could become a member of like the Sacramento Aquarium Society. All I have to do is sign up and like pay their dues. Even though I don't live there, which seems kind of backwards to me, but you know, I don't make the rules. Am I still planning on going to the bash? I am still planning on it as of now. Yep. I have all my phalanges crossed that nothing interferes with the bash, because that sounds like it's going to be so much fun, and I very much want to go. And I know that the co-op is a big sponsor, and they're planning on putting on some kind of like member event for the bash, and I don't know what that is yet, but like I want to be a part of it. So among other things, and I want to go like collecting in the river with like a little net, which I have not done. I mean, I've caught fish in a lake, but like I've never gone specifically collecting to like keep something in my own tank that I've caught. So that sounds really cool. But let's see. Pennsylvania just gets my money, no perks for me. I am sorry about that. Nancy from Tennessee is taking everyone collecting. That's what I've heard with Jeff Kane, right? I think. Maybe. Or y'all are like scouting a spot or something along those lines is the last I heard of it. But yeah. That sounds fun. And I'm not gonna lie, I'll probably fall in the water multiple times, because it's just what happens to me these days. I wasn't invited, but I'm going. I think if you're at the bash, you're kind of like automatically invited. Although I don't know. I don't want to speak for Nancy. She might rescind your invitation. So you never know. But I thought it was like an open invitation for anyone at the bash. But I'm going to take a pass on collecting. Yeah, I think now that I'm thinking that whole thought through in real time, it might depend on the temperature outside, because I don't do well in the heat anymore. Like my body just, it's not great to begin with, and then the heat just makes everything worse. So need to learn about places closer to the event. I want Jeff to come to a place in South Kentucky that has cooler stuff. Ah, cool. And isn't that spot that you're talking about like 3 hours away? So it would be like a significant drive to the location. I don't know. I remember, I seem to remember that being a part of it, but I don't know if I'm lying. I could be providing false information. Heat and the sun off water, yeah. I mean, I'm already a vampire, so like I would be wearing like one of those water shirts anyway with the hoods and like full face coverage because wrinkles and shit. But like, yeah, I mean, on top of the fact that like my joints are fighting themselves every day, which really sucks. So cooked and roasted. That's exactly, yeah. I would be, by the end of the day, I don't even think I would be like a human anymore. I would be just like a lump on a log. That's what I would be, with no fish, because I couldn't handle it. I'm such a wiener these days. It's amazing to think that I used to be like an athlete and now no, absolutely not. June usually isn't that hot. The water will be cool. Oh, that sounds promising. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I can just like plan on spectating and encouraging, and then if it actually ends up working out, I can go catch stuff. But I don't know. I don't want to make promises to myself that I can't keep, because I'd be really freaking bummed if I like planned on being super like a super fish collector, and then my body like decided it had other plans for me that day. I would be so mad. Ooh, that's a good question. Is there a Dunkin' Donuts near the hotel? Scotty coming in clutch with the real questions. I've never been an athlete, but I was more durable. I mean, I, yeah, I was, before I got sick and everything, like, I was far more durable of a human being than I am now. I pale in comparison to what I once was. But yeah, I feel that. A Didi? No, Didi isn't coming, which is unfortunate. What water? I think it's a river somewhere. Hmm. We sure could use Didi though. She has excellent commentary, if I do say so myself. Toasted coconut donuts from Dunkin'. Oh, coconut, yuck. Not a fan. That's one thing that my wife loves that I cannot stand the taste of is coconut and mango. Mm-mm, not for me. Not for me. I've tried so many different mangoes and so many different forms of coconut. It's just gross. I don't like it at all. It tastes like you're eating tanning oil. You know, because all that coconut scent, it's like burned into my nostrils, and so like I can't associate with anything else now. Coconut is gross. Thank you, Nancy B. I will agree with you on that one. Coffee rolls. What's a coffee roll? From Dunkin'. I would assume it's some kind of donut, but I don't know. I am generally a fan of donuts and absolutely a fan of Dunkin' coffee, that's for sure. A roll of coffee? What? Coffee's a liquid, Scotty. How do you roll it? Hmm. Well, I mean, I even take it to the point I don't even like coconut shrimp when it's like crunchy, you know, like tempura. I love tempura, but coconut, absolutely not. Oh my god, pina coladas are the worst. And it's only because of the coconut. Like I love me some pineapple. I will fresh pineapple is like candy. It's so good. I made myself sick on it when I was in Hawaii when I was younger. It was so good. But oh my gosh, put coconut in it with it? Oh, no, thank you. Oh, a cinnamon roll. Okay. I could, like, it depends on the cinnamon roll for me. Like, Cinnabon is a little intense, I think. Um, Costco has some decent cinnamon rolls. They're huge, but decent. I like the Pillsbury ones. Those are good. Um, but yeah, I just like it. It's a bun by bun judgmental basis that I go on cinnamon buns. So you know, I've never actually had mango, just like mango flavored candy. Stop talking about cinnamon buns. What's wrong with cinnamon buns? Maybe like tea cookies and meant to be consumed with coffee. Oh, like a biscuit. If you're having tea and crumpets, you would have a tea cookie shortbread something. I don't know. I like coconut cake and pie. Oh, that sounds horrible, Dee Dee. I'm not gonna lie. I gotta be honest here. Coconut cake and coconut. What is coconut pie? That just sounds like a pile of hot coconut. Ugh. Mango is a bit strong. It's not for me. Oh, stop it, Scotty. Cinnamon buns. The bakery in my town puts maple icing on the cinnamon rolls? What? That's like blasphemy. I mean, can you ask for a regular one? Or is it like maple is the regular? That's not right. That's an abuse of bun power, if I do say so myself. I'm sure Scotty liked that. I used my Instant Pot to rise my dough the last time I made cinnamon buns. They rose so high. I bet. Your Instant Pot's supposed to be great at like steaming things like that, like a convection heat. So yeah, I'm not surprised. Oh my gosh, sourdough cinnamon rolls. Hell yes, sign me up. Sign me the fuck up right now. I will, yep. I will do it. I use maple sometimes in icings. I think maple on the right kind of food would be good. And if you were like craving it or like in the mood for maple cinnamon buns, absolutely go for it. But like if that's a restaurant offering and you don't offer regular cinnamon buns in addition to the maple ones, like what are you doing? You're ruining a classic, you know? Like it's a classic for a reason. But Zen doesn't like fresh coconut, only roasted or flavor. Something about that taste, but having a lettuce like crunch to it, and we're back to icky. Can't do German chocolate cake because of that. Yeah. Nope. No German chocolate cake for me. Ha ha ha, Cinnamon. I was waiting for you to chime in. Hey, my buns are great. Those dang Dutch. No, they've been in business since 1890s, aren't flexible with recipes. You know what I do want to try though is a stroop waffle on top of a coffee. It looks divine, but like I've never tried it yet, so it's on my to-do list. I think Zen mentioned pizza last night, and I got in my head, and now it looks like cinnamon buns might be in the near future. Hey, Dee Dee, if you make some, make them that sourdough way that Nancy B was talking about, and overnight some to yours truly. You know, as like a friend favor, a funty friend favor. I would love it. I put maple syrup in the peanut butter chocolate bars I made this afternoon. Okay, that's cool. I am about peanut butter and chocolate. I could see how maple syrup would be good with it. If you were in the mood for it, though. We're so damn susceptible to suggestion, aren't we? Yeah, Zen, aren't you owed like a chocolate cake? Maybe? If I remember correctly, I think Dee Dee owes you a chocolate cake. In the shape of a heart. With pink frosting. Now I'm just getting more specific. But yeah. Those sourdough cinnamon buns do sound really good, though. I'll have to think on that. Oh, they're like peanut butter cups. Yeah. I don't think would it be like putting like maple syrup on like a Reese's and eating that? Or what's it? Is it like, is the syrup hard? Like, does it harden? Or what's the situation here? I just want to imagine correctly so that I can judge appropriately. I already forgot, but I definitely won't say no to cake. Oh, heart with chocolate peanut butter frosting. That was the one, Dee Dee. I'm glad you remembered because between the three of us, one of us got it right, you know? Scotty, what the hell? You don't like peanut butter? What do you mean you actually I can't say shit. My wife doesn't like peanut butter either. But you know what? She'll eat a Reese's, but I don't think she's happy about it. You know, like she eats it more for like the sweet tooth factor than the fact that she actually likes the combination of chocolate and peanut butter. But she can only have so much of it and then she's like done. But she doesn't like peanut butter that much at all. Oh, okay. So maple syrup is used as an alternative sweetener a lot. I wouldn't say it's it's a sweetener. It's not. It's still got sugar in it, right? As far as I know. But peanut butter makes life worth living. Absolutely. That chocolate and peanut butter combination. Love it. Pasta and chicken. Yeah, sounds about right. It's, the streams happen when our resolves are weak. Yeah. I understand that. I'm not actually trying to think of what I'm going to eat for dinner tonight. It's going to be something super easy. I already ate my treats that Costanza left for me, so no more Reese's eggs for me. I ate them all. But yeah. I'll probably have like chicken and rice or something. Scotty only eats white food. I wonder if he seasons it with like anything more than salt and pepper. What do you season your food with, Scotty? Please tell me it's more than salt and pepper. Please. Don't be the stereotype. Like food that is white, not just white people food. What you made nachos the other night with a lot of seasoning? What was that, like a teaspoon? Like how does let me find the pic, okay? All right. I'll believe it when I see it. It's like shopping with the munchies. Nothing good will come of that except cookies. Yeah. That's so true. So true. Oh man. Okay, guys, we got like 3 more minutes until I'm gonna go eat something and get ready for Steamy McStreamy. Mild taco seasoning, I'm guessing. Well, yeah. I mean, and like the pre-made stuff, not adobo. There you go. Yeah. All right. That's not half bad, Scotty. Adobo goes with a lot of things. So it's a very versatile seasoning. Chicken and nachos, I bet. I bet you could even put it in pasta and call it like a I don't know what you call it, but not pure maple syrup. It's more of a honey, nature's sweet. Not I see. I see what you're saying. Tony Catchphrase is a good chicken and pasta. Yeah. Zen gets her 2025 what the fuck crown tonight. Yeah. Oh, what the fish. Sorry. Misread that one. And she drew fish. Oh, that's funny. I did see your list, Scotty. That's a lot of that is a lot of seasoning, but it depends like how much of that entire seasoning concoction did you use? That's what I'll base my judgment on. I'm going to go obsess over my lovely guppies for a couple minutes. Thanks for entertaining us. You are very welcome, Lisa, and I am glad that you came. Thank you for enjoying the stream for 3 hours in 1 minute. Oh, I love that, Zen. That's the best kind of chili. Oh, I put like cheese and sour cream in there. Yep. What the effing fish is this? You might like the Chipotle recipes. Used to make adobo sauce and guacamole off the internet. Yeah, you could. I hope you feel better, Caitlin, and that things get better. And that you're not in the hospital for a long time. My drawings aren't Steven level, so yeah, accurate. Yep, yep, yep. Mm-mm. Scotty, do you eat guacamole? It's green. That'll be my last, like, once Scotty answers, that'll be my last question of the night before I sign off. You don't eat guacamole? No. How? No. You must. No, no. Guacamole is wonderful. Definitely no. Oh, I hate to hear that. Your poor taste buds. Oh man. All right, guys. The clock has struck 8 o'clock. Beans. Sketty, you're really grasping at straws here. But it's probably like plain white rice, though. Oh, no guacamole for you either, Nancy B? Oh, more for me. And chips. Oh, hey, Lance, I didn't even know you were in. Well, glad for coming in. Thank you for coming in. My brain is going haywire now. I've been streaming too long. But all right. I will catch you guys same time, same place next week, 5 o'clock on Friday. And I don't know if I'll go for quite as long next time, but you never know. We'll see. But yeah, y'all have a good weekend and an excellent rest of your week. I don't think I'm forgetting any announcements. So until next time, adios.